always looking for ways to save time, so in today's video I wanted to share with you an idea for an organization system to assist you with meal and menu planning. To set up this meal planning system, you're going to need these post-it page flags. You'll need a laminating pouch, a hole puncher, a permanent marker, a cutter, and a laminator. You may also want to have some scrapbook paper. I'm going to be using some from the Mambi Baby Girl collection. The purpose of this system is to save you time when you're planning out your meals, and it's kind of based upon these post-it flags that can easily be removed as you are planning out your meals for the month or week. I'm going to show you how I'm going to set it up. I'm going to start by making my card where I'm going to be keeping all those post-it flags on. I'm going to turn on my laminator to get it ready. And then while I'm waiting for this to heat up, I'm going to start writing out my recipes onto each of these post-its. So I'm going to be breaking up my recipes into different colors. So pink is going to be for red meats, yellow will be for chicken meals, orange for seafood, sides will be in green, and then things like leftovers or eating out will be written down onto the blue tabs. So this pack comes with 20 of each of the colors in here. So if you have a ton of recipes, you may want to buy multiple packs, and you may want to have multiple sheets for your meals. Maybe you want to put all of your pink tabs onto one page, all of your orange tabs onto another page if you have a ton of recipes. So I've printed out a list of the recipes that I'm going to be using on or with this system for now, and I'll expand on that later on. But it's going to help me as I'm sorting it into the different categories. I'm just double checking the size here to make sure that they're going to fit well into my monthly spread, which is where I'm going to be planning out the meals, and they do. They fit very well. So in the first part, I'm going to write a code name for the recipe, and that's because the point of these sticky notes is that you're going to be putting them down, but then as you're planning out your recipes, it's going to be changing around, and you're going to keep lifting up and moving it. But then at the end of the month, you'll know which meal you had for that day, so then you can just write down, let's say we had this here, then I would just write down KS, and then I could pull the sticky note off and transfer it to my meal page. So as you can see here, I made a bunch of duplicates or extras of the leftovers tab because we're planning on having leftovers the day after each of these meals, just to save time instead of having to cook a new meal every single night. And then I also have a tab for eating out in case we want to go to Chipotle or somewhere. So now I'm going to make the board that I'm going to be keeping all these tabs on in my Happy Planner. And now I'm going to start adding on the tabs. I got a few questions about how I made the dividers for my bullet journal happy planner combo, so I'm going to quickly show you how I did that. First, I took this silver foil scrapbook paper that is made by Craftsmith. I took an old divider from one of my previous happy planners, but you don't have to do this if you don't have an old divider. You can just use scrapbook paper and then punch along the sides here. I traced out the divider onto the scrapbook paper and then I cut it out. And I pasted the scrapbook paper onto the divider. If you weren't using an old divider at this step, you would have left space here for punching, and you would be punching at this point and gluing the two pieces of scrapbook paper together. Then to make the actual tabs, I took a piece of clear sticker paper and I printed it out on my computer, the name for the tab, and I just cut it out and attached. So if you saw my video on bullet journaling, you saw me set up these tabs in here. I'm going to add this meal planning and recipe section to the index here. And underneath my meal planning tab, I'm going to keep my perishable ingredients, which is just a list of the recipes that use certain ingredients that will expire quickly, like fresh produce like bell peppers or green onions, cilantro, chilies, things that are common in a lot of recipes, so that when I'm planning I can put all of these recipes together into the same week so that I can really maximize the amount of the produce that we're using, so we aren't wasting it and throwing it away if it goes bad. Then I have this ingredient staples list. These are all of the items that I want to have on hand in my pantry at all times because they are used in so many of the recipes that we make. And when I'm making my shopping list, I'm going to reference this ingredient staples list and make sure that we still have all these items on hand. And this, of course, will be different for your own household if you decide to make this, because you're going to be making different recipes. And then the final type of card, in addition to the meal planning card, is this recipe card. So I'm going to be providing you with a free printable of this without the ingredients and recipe and name filled in, of course. And then you can just print that out, hole punch it, and put it into your own happy planner if you would like. I'll include the link for that down below. I'm going to be adding these tabs in after my brainstorming tab. So if you remember, I have my long-term collections, my habits, my ongoing projects, and brainstorming, and then my calendar, of course. I'm going to put the meal planning card first. And the reason why I laminated this card was so that I can easily take these tabs off and on, and they won't lose their stickiness as quickly. Then I'm putting the perishable ingredients card. You could laminate that too if you want. And then the ingredient staples card. And then my recipes tab, where I'm going to be putting all my recipe cards. So now it's time to get into the meal planning part. And the reason why I'm putting this kind of system into my happy planner is because I can easily just take out this card because of the disc bound system, And then I'm going to flip to the month that I'm planning my meals for, which is going to be March. And I'm also going to take out that perishable ingredients card, which I mentioned. And I'm going to be using that as a reference while I'm planning, and I will say, okay, this week I want to buy bell peppers. So I'm going to make sure to make these recipes during that week so that the bell peppers don't go bad. So let's get started. This first week I decided that we would be making dishes that use green onions, so I grouped those two together. And then because this shrimp red Thai curry also has some other ingredients, I'm going to try to group those ingredients together. So for example, the bell peppers. So I'll start pulling from this list of dishes that use bell peppers. So now as my plans change throughout this month, I'm going to be able to easily move around these little tabs to different pages or different days as they change. And then if I, for some reason, need to have duplicates or triplicates or more of certain items, like I found that when I was planning this out, I needed to have at least 3 tabs for grilled asparagus for this month, and or 4 tabs actually. And as this system expands and I get more recipes, I can make more tabs easily because it's all it takes is a Sharpie in these tabs. Another thing that I wanted to mention was I just put these little symbols, like KBB stands for Korean Beef Bowl, next to each of the recipes, but you could also put the page number that you're keeping the recipe on. For right now, I'm not putting page numbers on my recipes because I'm kind of just starting out and my recipe collection is definitely going to grow, and therefore they're going to start getting moved around in that recipe tab. And so I don't want to add page numbers because it's going to change. But if you already have a system set up and you want to put page numbers, then it would be a good idea to put them onto these page flags as well. So at the end of the month, I'm going to be transferring all these tabs back onto this sheet so that I can plan out the following month. And as I'm doing it, I'm going to be writing it down. So pretend that this is the box here. I'll just write down GA for grilled asparagus and KBB for Korean beef bowl. And I'm going to leave that in the box there, and I'll progress through here. But the main point of this is that you're not having, as you're planning out your meals, you often change around the order, and also as your plans change, you change around the order. And that means that you have to constantly be crossing things out and rewriting them. But this way, you only have to write it the day that you're setting up the meals in the first place. And all you're doing is just picking up a sticker and moving it. So it's going to save me personally a lot of time for meal planning in general. And then once you get to your shopping list, this is also helpful. So first, I'll be checking my ingredient samples list. So referencing this list, I know that I'm out of garlic and kidney beans. So I'm going to add that first to my shopping list. Then I'm going to go to my month, and I'm going to start with the first recipe for the week that I'm purchasing for. And that first recipe is Korean beef bowl. So I turn to the Korean beef bowl recipe, and I see that I'm going to need brown sugar, soy sauce, sesame oil, red pepper flakes, ground ginger, vegetable oil, garlic, ground beef, onion, sesame seeds, hot sauce, and rice. So on this ingredients list, the only things that I'm going to need to purchase are garlic, which I already have written down, and green onion. So I'm going to add that to my list. Then I'm going to flip back to my page, and I will also need asparagus. And then I'll go to the recipe for shrimp red Thai curry and fill this out, and that will make up the week for shopping if I'm purchasing about a week ahead or half a week ahead. So the purpose of this is to kind of have everything in the same place to keep it organized and try to reduce your time that you're spending on not only meal planning but also creating your shopping list. So I hope this video gave you some ideas about different ways that you could set up your own meal planning system in your Happy Planner. And if you'd like to see more planner ideas, please check out my Instagram at PersonalizeMyPlanner. I'll see you next Saturday, and thank you so much for watching my videos. Bye! We are the girls on